Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by NJM Insurance Group, serving New Jersey's drivers, homeowners, and business owners for more than 100 years. Gibbons PC. With 200 attorneys, Gibbons is a full-service law firm focused on handling major matters for mid-market companies and mid-market matters for Fortune 500 companies. RWJ Barnabas Health. PSEG. Committed to providing safe, reliable energy now and in the future. Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. PNC Bank. New Jersey Sharing Network. Rowan University Institute for Public Policy and Citizenship. And by Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. We build tomorrow's workers. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly, the magazine of the Garden State, available at newsstands. And by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association.
This is One-on-One. I'm an equal American just like you are.
The jobs of tomorrow are not the jobs of yesterday.
Look at this. You got this?
Here it is, man. Look at that.
Life without dance is boring.
I don't care how good you are or how good you think you are, there is always something to learn.
Do you enjoy talking politics?
No. People call me because they feel nobody's paying attention.
Our culture, I don't think, has ever been tested the way it's being tested right now.
Such a good question. High five.
Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. We are in Princeton, New Jersey, more specifically at Drumthwacket. This is the people's home. This is the governor's official mansion, if you will, and we are honored to be joined by the First Lady of the great state of New Jersey, Tammy Murphy, is also the president of the Drumthwacket Foundation. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for coming to the People's House.
The people's home.
Yes.
Make that real for us.
I don't know if you know this, but this property was originally owned by William Penn back in the day, and has been the home of, I guess, 3 different families have lived here over time. The Olden family.
Governor Olden.
Governor Olden, exactly. So, in fact, the Florios were not the first governors to live in this house. Actually, the Oldens were the first governors to live in this house, ironically. So the Olden family lived here and really did the original construction on the main part of the house. And then we had a man by the name of Mr. Pine who lived here. And he expanded the whole property and made the house twice the size of the original. Built this incredible room that we're in right now. In fact, this fireplace was built in conjunction with Pine Hall over at Princeton. And rumor has it that Mr. Pine actually brought the artisans and the stone over from Europe. And while they were building Pine Hall, he built this fireplace as well. But this room was the centerpiece of all that he cared about because it housed his incredible book collection. At his death, the book collection was gifted to Princeton University. So we today have some books in here that look a little bit like they're fitting the part, but they're actually kind of books by the yard. We are now working on a project whereby I'm trying to get New Jersey authors, both living and those who may have passed, to populate this entire space. So what I'm asking for, I'm reaching out to publishers and to authors saying, please, can you share with me, ideally, a hardbound book, if not more than one, and we are going to hopefully set up sections that could be fiction, nonfiction, children's, whatever they may be, and turn this into a true library representing the state of New Jersey.
Why is that so important to you and the governor?
Because I want this to represent everyone in the state of New Jersey. We already are serving only New Jersey wines. We now are serving only New Jersey beers. We are working with other farms, local farms, to try and get only New Jersey produce to be on display.
And there's a Rutgers connection having to do with the grounds?
The Rutgers, so yes, when the grounds were in a state of disrepair and needed a lot of work to my eye. The deer fencing was falling in. We had cars that were parking on the front lawn when I first came here. And so we extended the back parking area to enable us not to park on the lawn. And we fixed the deer fencing in conjunction with going to Rutgers to their horticultural school and working together with professors and grad students and undergrads who came here now 2 summers in a row to actually help us with stormwater management and do an entire plan for the gardens. So they're benefiting, of course, because this is their passion, and we are benefiting because we have the students who are coming in and finding a connection with the property.
Let's make it clear, the restoration
of
Drumthwacket is huge.
It's
there
huge.
are some tax dollars involved and some private dollars being raised to the foundation. A, why is it so important? And B, make the justification, if you will, for the public dollars.
Sure. Okay, so when this house was bought by the state of New Jersey,
When?
and I think it was bought in the 60s.
I think 65. We'll check that.
I think it was 66. It was
Okay.
bought by the state of New
See, you're
Jersey.
correcting me.
But the Florios didn't actually.
This is Governor Jim Florio.
And Lucinda Florio did not actually. They were actually the first ones to make the move to actually renovate and try and make this place inhabitable, and that was not until the 80s. So when they moved in here, or when they started working on this in 81, they also side by side set up the Drumthwacket Foundation in 1982. So the property, because it's historic, it's owned by the state, is truly overseen by DEP,
Department of Environmental Protection,
which oversees all of our historic properties all across the state. And, you know, I think that the foundation was an ingenious idea because, yes, if the foundation didn't exist, then the state would be responsible for everything here.
Which does not make sense.
Well, I think it makes sense to have the foundation because you can have private investors and corporations and others who want to be involved in this property, donate time, skill, money, whatever
What's the
they're going to
payoff
do.
to the people?
The payoff to the people? We are, you mean the taxpayer?
Yes, to the people of New Jersey, the renovation takes place, and I imagine there are always things that are constantly being improved. But someone says, okay, what do we get out of that?
Hopefully people are coming here. I want this to be the magnet. I want this to be the draw in the state of New Jersey. I want people to come here. I want people to tour the gardens. I want them to be inside. We have multiple events that go on here throughout the year, and we have expanded the events tremendously. For example, we have Christmas open houses that are coming up.
I've heard about
we are
that.
doubling them this year. So we are trying to get even more people to come in to see the house and experience this incredible piece of New Jersey's history.
We are honored to be joined by our good friend, Rick Thigpen, who is Senior Vice President of Corporate Citizenship at PSEG. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
By the way, you have a strong connection to public broadcasting on the board of NJTV.
Yes, I am.
And this place, you and I have talked offline a lot about this, Rick.
Yes.
It has such historical significance. Set it up.
I don't think people know exactly just how special Drumthwacket really is. First off, it was the personal residence of Governor Charles Olden, who was a great man at a great time of American history. And that time was both about the birth of the Republican Party as well as the dawn of the American Civil War. And Governor Olden, by being such an outstanding leader, made sure that New Jersey played an important role in helping defend the Union. He kept our state together. Because if you remember at that time, New Jersey was a state with 18 slaves in the 1860 census. Some New Jerseyans didn't think we should be fighting to preserve slavery, but he was a very strong pro-union leader, and he was also very moderate on the issue of slavery. So he was able to bring New Jersey together, and he was also a very able administrator and organized our state effectively to make a very important contribution to the early days of the Civil War.
Lincoln connection?
Yes. So Governor Olden was one of the first Republican governors in the country, right? He was elected in 1859, and the following year, he was one of the leaders to help get Abraham Lincoln elected. Now, New Jersey was a sort of a swing state. We're the only northern state where Lincoln did not win all of the electoral votes. But nevertheless, after the election, he wrote Lincoln to invite him to come to New Jersey. And in fact, Lincoln came to New Jersey on his way to Washington, and Governor Olden was the reason for that.
You know, this is the funny thing. You know, you handle energy policy.
Yes.
You've been at PS for a long time.
Yes.
How do you know this stuff?
I just love history, and the truth is always better than fiction. And New Jersey has a great role in American history that a lot of people don't know. And not only that, Steve, you know, in 1856, there's a guy named William Newell was one of the first Republican, Newell, was elected governor of New Jersey, one of the first Republican governors in the entire country. We were among the leaders in terms of republicanism in America.
Excuse me, was the Republican Party then significantly different than the Republican Party in New Jersey and nationally today?
So, you know, I'm not involved in politics, but the
I'm saying
Republican
from a
Party at that
historical
time
perspective.
was the leader in anti-slavery sentiment and was the leader in preserving the Union against a slaveholder-led rebellion.
Lincoln.
So there's no question. Abraham Lincoln is the icon of it. Is the icon of it. Now, also, so Governor Newell, 1856, one of the first ones, you know, in the 1856 presidential election was the first time the Republicans ran, And the vice presidential candidate was a guy named William Dayton from Basking Ridge, New Jersey. He beat out a guy named Abraham Lincoln to be the vice presidential candidate on the ticket.
56.
In 1856. And Dayton was the youngest ever Associate Justice of our state Supreme Court. And Governor Olden, after he lost in 1856, and he did not carry New Jersey, cardinal sin for somebody on the ticket, Governor Olden made him his first attorney general. And then above and beyond that is a guy named William Pennington, a former governor of New Jersey, who got elected to Congress in 1858. He was the former mayor of Newark, and he was the lawyer from Newark, and the governor of New Jersey. And he became the third freshman to become Speaker of the House. He served one term in Congress, and then he was defeated in 1860. So he didn't serve in 1861, but he was the Speaker of the House during the Secession crisis. So when all the southern states were leaving the Union, it was the Speaker of the House was a lawyer from Newark, a former governor of New Jersey named William Pennington.
Does this connect to Drumthwacket?
Well, these are all former Whig politicians.
Whig meaning the Whig Party?
The Whig Party, which died in 1855, 1856. And most of them became Republicans.
Okay.
So these old Whig politicians became leaders in the Republican Party. So the Speaker of the House during secession was a Republican from New Jersey, the governor of New Jersey who kept us together and organized us to send some of the earliest militia to Washington. And I think 88,000 New Jerseyans went to fight to preserve the Union in the war, all done by Governor Olden. And even more, he had a Democratic legislature, and he was able to negotiate proper appropriations to organize these troops, to arm them, to clothe them, and to send them to Washington to help preserve our Union. So New Jersey has a role in preserving our Union, and really Drumthwacket really represents one of the golden eras of New Jersey politics, and we had a huge impact on our nation. And most people don't know that.
Drumthwacket and climate change, sustainability, any connection?
Absolutely.
How so?
Well, first off, I admire our First Lady because she's now moving to make Drumthwacket operate in a sustainable fashion, like more and more of us all to do, and to make it a classroom for sustainability. That issue is going to be critical in our future. You know, Steve, I've just had twins. I have 2 brand new baby girls.
Congratulations.
I want to pass on to them a healthy planet like we all do to our loved ones. And sustainability is very important in that. And an energy company is on the forefront of having to respect the challenges of sustainability so that we can protect our environment and hand on a healthy planet to those who come behind us, which all of us should accept as our obligation for the future.
First Lady Tammy Murphy, we were in Drumthwacket. You've been talking to us and making this come alive. We were in the library before, right?
We were.
This is the music room.
This is the music room.
Why is it called that?
Well, I believe it's called the music room because we happen to have a piano in the music room. And this is really one of the main areas where we stage events. Whenever we have receptions and things, we definitely use this space. However, what I'd like you to know about this room is that one of the owners of this house actually is credited with over 2,000 patents to his name. His name was Abram Spanel. He was
Spanel.
S-P-A-N-E-L.
Okay.
And he actually, I can't say that he created all of those patents physically here, but he certainly created some in this space. And if you look over here, there's a piece that was a piece of mural because it was on the ceiling when they found this. But
that mural?
Piece, the whole ceiling was covered in murals, but apparently there were so many explosions in the house that ultimately over time the murals were not able to be saved.
Explosions?
When you create things like the man Abram Spanel,
Oh, okay.
he founded the
Science.
Playtex Corporation. Latex was invented in this house.
In this house?
In this house.
Did not know that.
Another reason why New Jersey should love this and come here.
We're joined by Robyn Brenner, Executive Director of the Drumthwacket Foundation. Good to see you.
Same here.
You
Thank
love this place, don't you?
I do.
Why?
I've been here 8 years now, and every day is an adventure. I live an hour north of here, and people go, wow, that's quite a commute. And I go, look where I land. It's this beautiful historic property, and then to have the infusion of the energy of the administrations who live here, especially the Murphys right now, and all the exciting plans they have in store for the property. I have an amazing job.
You know, we're putting up the Drumthwacket Foundation information on the screen, the website, and people want to know when can they visit?
Sure.
And how?
And how? So every Wednesday, we are open to the public. The morning slots are typically taken by school children from across the state, primarily Title I school children, although anyone can visit. If the child is from a Title I school, the foundation actually pays for the bus. And
Make that clear what Title I is.
And we offer a nutrition lunch. It's the less affluent school
That's
districts.
Right.
Those children especially, most of them come from urban cities, and when they arrive here, Drumthwacket looks like a miniature White House.
It does.
And we have gotten thank you letters from these precious, wonderful children, just in awe of the size of the lawn and the history that is here, and they feel so special learning about the history of the site and the role of the governor and seeing the beautiful gardens, et cetera.
It's important for people to know this, especially kids.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And then at 1 p.m., we are open to the public who can visit. You just need to register first through the website. It's free. There's complimentary parking on site. We have incredible docents that will make it a very enjoyable afternoon.
Not every governor or his or her family have lived here. Mm-hmm. And the Murphys are going to be spending a lot of time here.
Yeah.
Why is that important?
Oh, I think it's just important. I think it infuses an entire energy into the home. To have the governor and the first family living here. I think it just adds their energy, what their thoughts and plans for the home, because it's not only just for them, but it's for future administrations as well.
Yeah, put that in context.
Sure. So no matter what the foundation undertakes in partnership with the administration, it is for the benefit not only of the current administration, but future administrations, as well as the people of New Jersey.
Sorry for interrupting. The foundation raises private money.
Correct.
There are tax dollars involved as well. Mm-hmm. And together, talk about that renovation and why it's in the public interest.
So Drumthwacket, as I just said, was built in 1835. So it's old. And with that comes, of course, constant capital improvements that are necessary. Plus, the house is open not just through the foundation, but also through events that the administration holds. So you could have upwards of 10,000 people a year visiting Drumthwacket. Mm. So the wear and tear alone on the historic home is extensive. So it is really important that the Drumthwacket Foundation exists. It was formed in the 1980s so that we raise...
Through the Florio administration?
Correct. So that we raise, non-taxpayer funds to restore this very important historic place. It's actually it's a nationally landmarked historic place.
To watch more One-on-One with Steve Adubato, find us online and follow us on social media.
We're on location at Drumthwacket, the people's home, if you will, the governor's official mansion in the state of New Jersey. We're talking to Alexis Degan, Executive Director of the New Jersey Brewers Association. Alexis, question.
Sure.
What does the Brewers Association have to do with Drumthwacket?
Everything. This is the governor's home, and New Jersey Brewers Association wants to be in everyone's home. So, but also the governor and first lady have announced that they will be exclusively serving only New Jersey craft beer and wine going forward.
Why is that significant?
Oh, well, it's, for one thing, it shows that they have a pride in the products that are coming out of the state, like we do, and it shows kind of where we've come as an industry. So far in the last 7 years, we have 114 breweries. They're all doing amazing things. So when the governor has people over for a drink, the fact that he's having them over for a New Jersey beer is huge. It means that people who wouldn't necessarily think to go to their liquor store and get a New Jersey craft beer might now, because they've had it here, they've had the opportunity to enjoy it and see what the state has to offer.
Take a step back. Mm-hmm. The New Jersey Brewers Association been in existence for how long?
So in one form or another, it's been in existence since 1997.
So 20 plus years, almost 23 years. And how much has the industry grown in that time?
Hugely. So back in 2012, the legislature passed a law that allowed for easier access to having a brewery, and the big thing was opening a tasting room. So
a tasting room.
Previous to 2012, manufacturing breweries could manufacture beer and give tours and tastings to individuals who had come, but they couldn't sell their beer for consumption on site. In 2012, the law changed. One of the big parts of that law was creating a retail space at the brewery. So now the breweries have become a kind of a hybrid manufacturing retail space where people are able to come, enjoy a pint, have some time with some friends, and really experience, what you're seeing in other states. You go to other states, you have the tasting room experience at a brewery.
I'm curious about this. Alexis, are other states ahead of New Jersey on this, with this industry?
Well, so yes and no. I mean, they're ahead of us in that they've had longer to get to where they are. Again, we're one of the youngest industries as in that regard, but we are also one of the fastest growing. We tied Kentucky last year for fastest growing New Jersey craft beer industry, and New Jersey is big into beer. So our
New Jersey, that's a great slogan. New Jersey, ... We're big into beer.
We are,
Do you think that's going to overtake New Jersey and you? Perfect together. I'm sorry to
New
Governor
Jersey
Tom
beer
King.
and you, perfect
Look
together.
at you. You're a marketing genius. So again, in all seriousness, this industry, how many people are we talking about employing?
Oh, got hundreds. So there's, like I said, 114 breweries. Even the smallest brewery has at least 2 or 3 employees.
Are they all over the state?
All over the state, from as far south as Cape May to as far north as Warren County.
We're in the dining room.
We are in the dining room.
Make this room come alive.
Okay, so first of all, this was formerly 2 rooms. This is part of the original structure of the house that was built in 1835 by Charles Olden.
Governor Olden?
Governor Olden. You can tell right here, there was a split in the room and there was a wall there. That's why there are 2 fireplaces and 2 doors and things like that. The room is, in its current state, trying to depict what it would have been like here back in the day. So Waterford crystal. Here we have some Rembrandt Peale paintings, which are extraordinary. The wallpaper, which really brings this room alive, was actually installed in the 80s, but it's done by hand. It's all painted by hand. There's no 2 panels that are alike. It was actually done and designed for this specific room. So by a company called Gracie in New York. And we obviously have the incredible silverware that's on this table, which is really fun. That was actually designed by Tiffany back in 1906 as it was to be put aboard the USS New Jersey when it was commissioned. And usually what happened was you would donate this type of silverware to the boat because it would travel around the world kind of representing the United States, in this case, New Jersey. So we are really fortunate that we are able to have this here because thousands and thousands of people come through here every year, and it's great that everyone can see it.
We're at Drumthwacket. This is the official New Jersey people's home, the governor's mansion, if you will. We're talking to the mayor of Princeton, this beautiful town, Liz Lempert. How you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you.
You feel comfortable in this place, don't you?
It's a beautiful house.
There's a big connection between Drumthwacket and Princeton. And the fact that the governor and the first lady are pushing this as more, this place, Drumthwacket, as more of a public place, more public events, renovating, et cetera, et cetera. What does that do for Princeton?
We love it. I mean, it's really great that the governor and first lady are so engaged in this house and in the community. And we feel proud to be host to the governor's mansion here at Drumthwacket and also the previous governor's mansion at Morven.
Morven, Drumthwacket. What's the connection?
So Morven was the governor's mansion before this was, and I think back then people had really large families. So Brian Hughes, who's the county executive
of Mercer.
Right. So his father was the governor, and he actually
Governor Richard J. Hughes, also former Chief Justice of the Supreme Court in the state.
And I can't remember how many siblings Brian has.
A lot.
Quite a few.
A lot.
Yes, and so he spent a lot of his childhood in Morven. I think they were the last family to live there.
In the 1960s.
Mm-hmm. And then this property was acquired by the state for the governor's mansion. And Morven is now a museum.
So what does Drumthwacket in actuality? Because when we were talking to the First Lady, so much of the discussion was about getting people to come here, excuse my voice, folks, to get people to come here. Do Princetonians know of Drumthwacket, A, and B? Are they curious to see it?
Well, I think everybody first struggles with how to say it and how to spell it. So I think it's a challenge. I think when in 2nd or 3rd grade, they do their New Jersey history. So that's one of the challenges for Princeton school kids. That's why they're so smart.
Morven's easier.
Exactly.
But Drumthwacket is the place.
Yes, and it's, they have great tours here for school kids.
Educational programs.
Mm-hmm. It's beautiful over the holidays. And it's on a major route in and out of town.
Yeah, make that clear to folks, because some folks may think it's very hard to get to, very inaccessible.
Right. Well, it's right on the state highway on 206, and it's on the main road between here and Lawrence, and then on to Trenton. So a lot of people pass by it, and people say, "What is that?" It's a beautiful home.
It's our home,
right.
The people's home. By the way, that expression, the people's home, what does it mean to you?
I think that it's like a library too. I mean, there's something about when these big, beautiful, historic places that feel like they're only for rich people are really in the public domain, and that they belong to all of us. And I feel that way when I walk into the Princeton Public Library as well. I mean, it used to be in the old days, you had to be a super wealthy person to have access to all those books. And it's a similar thing here. It's, most people can't afford to live in a place like this, but to get a chance to experience a little bit of what that's like. And I think not only connects you to the governor's office, but connects us to New Jersey's past as well.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by NJM Insurance Group, Gibbons PC, RWJ Barnabas Health, PSEG, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, PNC Bank, New Jersey Sharing Network, Rowan University Institute for Public Policy and Citizenship, and by Eastern Atlantic States Regional Council of Carpenters. Promotional support provided by New Jersey Monthly and by the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.
Hi, I'm Elise Glennon. New Jersey Sharing Network is committed to saving lives through organ and tissue donation. We are proud to announce that the Transplant Games of America will come to New Jersey in July of 2020. This 6-day festival will raise awareness about the need for organ, eye, and tissue donation and bring together families and individuals impacted by the gift of life. To find out more about how you can be a competitor, a volunteer, or a corporate partner, visit njsharingnetwork.org. Let the games begin.